Hi everybody, it's Bankai922. Okay, live stream's gonna happen 11 p.m. tonight, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about manga suggestion block. Yes, manga suggestion block, and majority of these mangas, seinens. Majority, I'm not joking around. In fact, they're all seinens. I was going to suggest one manga that is a shonen, but it should wait for a while. It's gonna wait for a while. I might start doing these on this channel instead of the Evil King of Anime Versus, because that one isn't really going anywhere. It's going somewhere. It's just not a lot of subs. So I figured I'd do it on this one. It might be much easier to deal with. Also, I should note that there is going to be a versus tonight that I'm going to be doing. It's probably... I'll mention it here. I shouldn't really keep up the time here. Just to mention it, just briefly mention it. It's going to be Masamune from Sengoku Basara versus Mugen from Samurai Champloo. And then after that match is over, we're going to start the set 2 of round 2. Okay. Like I said, this is a suggestion block. A lot of mangas to suggest that are seinen. Okay, let's get in. Let's get into this now. A manga that was suggested to me, another manga that is suggested to me by McWhirlpool Inc. Go give this guy a shout out. I'm going to give this guy a shout out right now. He's awesome. Go check out McWhirlpool Inc. Sub to him. He's awesome, man. Come on. Sub to McWhirlpool Inc. He told me about this show. That this one guy, I think, Falcon Punch. He loves this show, Falcon Punch. So I'm not reviewing it, unfortunately, because I haven't caught up to it yet. But check it out. It's called Doro Head DOROHEDORO. A very interesting concept, this manga. So let's get into the summary of it. Its genre is action, adventure, comedy, fantasy, horror, seinen. Basically, it takes the idea of a magic user. So people who use like magic and like Fairy Tail, Nagima, all these different mangas that have magic users. This puts the magic user as an evil person. That's basically the whole gist of DOROHEDORO. And basically there's this guy, his name is, I'm trying to find out his name. Kaiman. Kaiman looks like a lizard. Yeah, he basically has the face and body of a lizard. And he basically, the whole gist is, he was wronged by a magic user. This magic user, whoever he is, turned him into a lizard man. Kaiman. Which was a pretty interesting concept. I thought, wow. And the artwork. Oh, forget. Unbelievable. You guys got to check this one out. This is a seinen you have to check out. DOROHEDORO. And basically, he was turned, and he's trying to find the magic user who turned him into a lizard. And what happens is he takes the people's heads, he puts them in his mouth, and this guy pops up inside of his body and says, "You are not the one." And then he kills the magic user. It was just, And he's accompanied by this girl named Nakaido, who, accompanies him and helps him find the other magic users. And basically, he chops down their heads, to find out who, is the one who, wronged him. And the logistics is that these magic users appear in these things called holes, like they're doorways that they go through, in and out. And they're basically hunting down all these magic users to find out the one that wronged him. And it's very violent, very bloody. I don't want to spoil too much, but I will say this. There's this one guy who has a mask in the shape of a heart. And one instance in this show, I shit you not, they they disassembled this guy to the point where all that remained of him, he was still alive, all that remained of him was a head and a spine. And he was still alive. And I'm like, oh my god. It freaked me out. I was like, holy shit. I'm reading this, definitely. And I should let you know the artwork, same fucking artwork of like Akira. I was, whoa, that's crazy. I was really impressed. That really got me. I was like, yeah, this is awesome. So that's one you should look out for. DOROHEDORO. Now, others to look out for, there are two that I think a lot of people might be interested in. And it's made by the same guy. Same guy. Actually, not the same guy who did Freezing. I thought it was, but it isn't. This guy did this show, and he did Black God. If everybody doesn't know what Black God is that anime Korigami, yeah, that's the same. The author of those two that manga did these two. First one is called, and they're both completed. So what do you have to lose? You got nothing to lose. They're both completed, so you just skim through it. It's a good read. It's a really good read. One is called Onihime Versus, and the logistics of this is that there's this kid named Setsuna Kashiwagi, and he's got a heart condition, basically, and his sister is paying for all his medical bills, trying to help him survive and everything, and so on and so forth. And he basically wants to kill himself, pretty much. And up comes this guy, this wandering stranger, says, oh, how do you, seeing as how you want to kill yourself, how about I give you, $10 million, 10 million yen. He says, oh, this guy's giving him 10 million yen, and all he has to do is accept this contract. And basically the logistics is, when he accepts the contract, he drinks this liquid. And what this liquid does is it makes his heart be very attractive to certain individuals. And these certain individuals are actually they're these people who, they're demons, basically, pretty much. And that's the whole bit. He says, weak, bullied, and mystic life, Setsuna Kashiwagi, on the verge of jumping off a bridge, a mysteriously man appears behind him and offers him 10 million yen in exchange for a life in a year. That's right, in a year. When he wakes up the next morning, he sees two beautiful women sitting beside him. They are Kana and Rena. Oni Princess is here to claim his heart in a year. And the logistics of it is, in Onihime Versus, is that, and it's a seinen. It's a very good seinen. Anything with gorgeous women, I think, is good seinen. But that's just me. And the logistics is they have to protect him from other Onihimes that are going to come after his heart. So I've been reading it. I haven't finished it yet. It's completed. It's a shame it's not an anime. Real goddamn shame it's not an anime. But it's a definite read. This author, if you read this one, you should read the next one that I'm going to suggest. Which is called Rebirth, the Lunatic Ticker. And that's the whole thing with Onihime Versus. So, moving on. This one is really crazy. This one is pretty violent, and it gets to you a few times. Rebirth, the Lunatic Taker pretty much is action, drama, harsh, school life, seinen, supernatural. And it's about a brother-sister relationship. And Reiji, that's his name. Yeah, Reiji. He's your typical high school student living with his big sister, Ayaka. And one day he stumbles upon these bracelets on the sidewalk. He picks them up. He tries to find the owner, but gets sidetracked by a bag snatcher. Runs in his direction. He tries to stop him, but is stabbed and killed. And on the brink of death, he hears a voice from the bracelet saying, "Thou wishes to live, form a contract." And that's pretty much what ends on happening there. And what the story, furthermore in the story, what the concept is he dies, and he forms a contract with these bracelets. But the logistics is that half his life's, half the amount of times he can be reborn is in half, because he's sharing it with his sister. And I haven't read this manga in a while, so my little description about it might be a little off. But what ends on happening is he has to kill. Him and his sister have to kill these birds that show up at night. These harpies that show up at night, and it's a pretty interesting show, to say the least. And it's pretty violent. It's pretty fucking violent. It gets crazy. But his sister turns into this different person when she fights. And to say the least, it is fucking awesome as fuck. So definitely check out those two, because they're done by the same author. And you go look at his artwork. It is really crazy. It reminds me of Freezing. But I checked this guy out. I don't think this is the same guy who did Freezing, the author. This is not the same mangaka who did Freezing. So, that's the story. I've got probably 4 more. I got like 4 more to talk about. Okay, let's get into it. 4 more to talk about. Rebirth the Lunatic Taker, go check it out. Onihime Versus, go check it out. It's awesome. Let's go into SHAMO. Holy shit. Oh my god. Put it this way. I don't want to spoil SHAMO too much for you guys, but I will say this. The main character? Villain. And I have to give a shout out. Uber Hikari was the one who told me about this. I was in a call with Cloud Village, and he's like, yo, King, gotta check out SHAMO. And I'm like, he's saying SHAMO says the main character's a villain. And I take a look at it, and I'm like, holy shit. He kills his parents. And he goes to prison for 2 years. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? SHAMO, in my opinion, is a cross between Rainbow and Berserk. I mean, there's no demons in SHAMO, but there's one thing that people are probably going to be like, no. Rape. More importantly, prison rape! Yes, so basically he kills his parents. He ends up going to jail for 2 years. And I've only seen the beginning of it. I haven't seen that much. I've read a few chapters here and there. I was reading it. I didn't really read too much, but I read that. I did read what I read with it, and I know it is a fucking awesome seinen. And it's just a complete crazy mindfuck. And one thing happens in this show is you learn that he's like, the main character's a villain, but I don't see him as a villain. You know what I mean? I mean, I feel bad for him. I mean, he did kill his parents, and I was like, he's a parent killer, But there are people in that prison that are villains too. So like, they're all prisoners. And in the show also, he meets this guy, what's his face? Oh, karate master who teaches him martial arts, who teaches him karate, and he learns how to fight and everything. He's like practicing. I'm like, fucking epic, crazy shit. And stuff. He does get. He gets. Don't want to spoil too much for you, but like I said, there is rape in this show. SHAMO. Go check it out. It is. And you know what the really fucked up thing is about this show? And this will be the last thing I have to say about this show. He was on his way to a university. To Tokyo University. And you know what was really crazy? And it was full too much, like I said, not again. His sister doesn't blame him for killing his parents. What the fuck? Crazy. Ah, man, just insane. 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 Crazy shit going down. So that's SHAMO. Go check it out. Go check out SHAMO. It's a good show. It really is. Obviously, I only got like, let's see, I got three more seinens to talk about. UBEL BLATT. Ah, man. This show was suggested to me by, I think, one guy who did videos, and he sent it to my other channel. He sent it to my other channel. UBEL BLATT, to me, is like Berserk after the eclipse. That's the way I look at UBEL BLATT. It feels like the eclipse already happened, he was already betrayed, and this is just the story of him getting his revenge. This guy, I forgot his name. I'm trying to find out his name. Asian the whole time. Coinzel. Coinzel. And this guy, look, this Coinzel, he's basically getting revenge on there were these 14 swordsmen who were praised as heroes, but the 14 became the 7. And he was betrayed by this these other 7, and he wants revenge on them now. And Coinzel is going around, and this is just his story of getting revenge. And this guy looks like Zelda. That's the biggest thing I think about UBEL BLATT that I'm really interested about, is he looks like Zelda. There's a lot of mangas I'm reading right now, and this one is definitely on my list. A good seinen. All these seinens I'm mentioning, they're really good. You guys have got to check it out. Go check it out, man. And he's, he's trying to get his revenge, and he's known as the Black Swordsman. That's another reason why it's so much like Berserk, because another character suggested as a Black Swordsman. And here's the catch. He's supposedly this guy, like, what, 4 or 5 swords on his back? He come out of nowhere. And he uses them, like, and he does this, like, I think on the full moon or something like that. So, good show. UBEL BLATT. Go check it out. 2 more, I promise, last 2 seinens that I'm going to talk about. One is new. Both these are very new. Very new. There's only like about 2 or 4 chapters of it. First one, and I can't pronounce this correctly, but I will try. SEIREI TSUKAI no Blade Dance. Now, the gist of this, and there's only 3 chapters out of it. It's pretty short. They're going to come out with more as the months go along. It's basically about this guy, this kid, I'm trying to think his name. Kamito. And Kamito is basically summoned to this girls' school, Alicia Spiritual Academy, where, noble ladies are taught how to make contracts with powerful spirits. And what ends up happening in the beginning of the show is he bumps into this girl, and he ends up making a contract with a spirit. And now she's saying to him, "Oh, you're gonna be my slave," or what have you. It's like one of those shows. Yeah. And I also found out a few other things about it, that he has a past, and he's being demanded by the person who's at the head of the academy to stay there and to participate in this tournament, which is called the Blade Dance Tournament Festival. And logistics of it is a very interesting seinen, and there's this kind of thing where this witch is telling him something to do, and apparently if he leaves the academy, he's going to be killed. Because everyone's going to go after him. Because he's the only kind of, males aren't really supposed to make contracts with spirits. And he's the first male to do this. So, yeah, that's the logistics of that show. And it's pretty interesting. It's still new. This show is still new. It's only got about 3 chapters, so, give it a try, I'll put the link below. All these mangas, all of them, I will put the link below in the description. Wow, 20 minutes. That's what happens when you read, when you talk about, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 mangas. Damn. Okay, and that's the story for that. Last manga, last seinen. This one is spanking new. Like, there's only 2 chapters. Two chapters. The first chapter came out on the 18th, and the second one came out on the 30th. This is very interesting. It's an action horror mystery sci-fi seinen. It circles around this relationship between Rentaro, this guy Rentaro, and basically what happens is it takes place in like a time where there's this disease called Gasteria. Hopefully I'm saying it right. Gastria. They're viral parasites named Gastria, where what happens is when these parasites go after you and they bite you, you turn into a parasite. So, pretty interesting concept. And it's basically about this guy, Rentaro, and he's part of this group, this civil service group who goes around and they attack and they kill these parasites, the Gastria. And his partner, Inju, who apparently is his fiance? You know? And that's pretty much the story. He's his fiance. And there's also this other girl that's introduced later on. We see in chapter 2. Who's... her name eludes me. I think it's Kazuka or Kazuya. Not really sure. I have to go back. I'm going to have to see that. I might review it. In the future, Black Bullet. If it turns out to be interesting, more interesting to me. And basically, and their jobs are basically to go out by the boss of civil service, by the government, and go and destroy these parasites. Because they're a threat. And this virus just keeps spreading and spreading and spreading. And it's a very interesting show. So, give it a quick read. It's only 2 chapters. People, go and read it. So, those are the shows. Those are the seinen that Bankai922 has been throwing at you guys. DOROHEDORO, Onihime Versus, Rebirth, the Lunatic Taker, SHAMO. You gotta check out SHAMO. Oh, you gotta check it out. UBEL BLATT. Blade Dance. I'm gonna just call it Blade Dance. And Black Bullet. There was another one I wanted to suggest, but I'm not gonna suggest it because it's a shonen. And this one is like, I'm gonna call this Bankai922's manga suggestion block seinen. Just seinen. Because I didn't want to put that in there because it was a shonen. And the one I was going to put in there was Moho Shoujo of the End. That's another show that's fucked up. Oh, God, that's fucked up. And you can go check that if you want to. So, that's all I got for you guys. So, yeah, those are the mangas I'm suggesting. Go check the seinens out. Seinens are really good. I like seinens. I'm seeing that a seinen... Some seinens, they don't have to be bloody and gory. There are some that, have a charm to it. There are a few with risque, I think Devil Artemis, he showed me one that was really risque. Oh, nudity in it, too. I was like, wow, this is crazy. So, yeah, go check those out. This has been Bankai922. I will see you guys later. Wow, 23 minutes. But this was a suggestion block, so I brought out all those mangas to suggest to people. Go check them out. Support them. Spread the word. Go read them. Go read these mangas. Because they are really good. Really good. If you like Berserk, you'll love UBEL BLATT. And SHAMO. And DOROHEDORO. So yeah. This has been Bankai922. I will see you guys later in an hour. Live stream. And later tonight, I will do Sakuraso episode review. And what else? Oh, the verses. Yeah, those are the other 2 things I'm going to be doing today. Okay? It's been Bankai922. I will see you guys